Welcome to my channel everyone. In this video we are going to talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with cheap taker fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has very low taker fees and also 100 coins, 0 fees. I think at the moment it's 118 coins even. And here you have a list of coins like for example Solana, SUI, Tau, ONDO. Those are the coins where we talk daily about. Litecoin, ARB, Avalanche are also on the list. Oh, we are also talking about Avalanche daily. So basically, what I learned over the time, fees are eating up our profits over a certain time. So basically, if we win, we pay fees. If we lose, we also pay fees. And those fees adding up over the time. So if you just count how many fees you paid in your whole life for trades, then you will actually get shocked. Trust me on that. And then you have coins for which you have to pay fees, which are also very low compared to the other big exchanges like for example Bitget and Bybit. And if you use my link, which you can find in the video description, then you will also save another 20% on those low taker fees. So let's talk about SUI. SUI looks bearish right now. Is this a short setup? No, it's not a short setup. So basically, this might be here a bear flag. This might also be here a rising wedge. So the rising wedge is less bearish than the bear flag. Target is going to be $3.30 to $3.35 for SUI. In this area, I would actually like to look for some long positions. For sure, we can always sell a bit more off. But in the end of the day, all the coins are bullish. You will see it with Avalanche, especially for HBAR, for example. All the coins are bullish. So why should SUI be the only coin which sells off, right? So basically, not a short setup. We still didn't manage to break the $3.52 to the upside. So it is this white trend line. If we break it to the upside, positive. If I want to get into a momentum trade for the fair value gap, which we have even up to $3.68, I can do that. But to be confident that we are looking for higher prices, sustainable higher prices, $3.60 have to break to the upside. If we break it to the upside, it's going to look good for me. Otherwise, the $3.53 can just be a filling of the fair value gap, then we sell off, and then we have to see if we are going to sell off more or if it's just going to be a higher low and then look for higher prices for sure. But so far, yeah, I don't want to say SUI looks good, but since the overall crypto market looks good, SUI is automatically looking good as well. I would just say if the $3.30 breaks to the downside, then we have a small fair value gap between $3.24 to $3.26. If we also lose this small fair value gap, then I would actually think about something bigger to the downside. If we now talk about Avalanche, we have said about Avalanche, we have a scenario as long as we don't break the $24.16 to the upside, then we can always sell off, and the way how we sell off is going to be more important. We were looking for all the coins for a bullish consolidation. HBAR did a perfect bullish consolidation, you will see it shortly. But so far, yes, we broke the 24.16 to the upside. We retested it right here. So basically all looks good, and what I'm looking for is I don't see any kind of chart pattern in this price movement. That's why I would actually like to wait for this kind of setup where we then break something to the upside, for example a falling wedge or a double bottom pattern, and then I can jump into a long trade safely and confident with a target. But so far I still expect the altcoin season for sure. I think we are in the beginning of that. And yes, Avalanche has a lot of fair value gaps to the upside. You can see this big green area right here. It's not one big fair value gap, but we have many there. With some chart patterns, we can measure the price movement, and in combination of if we combine fair value gaps with chart patterns, then we are getting more accurate targets. So basically I can take this one out of the chart. I would look for a nice bullish consolidation with the chart pattern development so we can trade it afterwards. And here is what I want to see. We have said about HBAR, we need a bullish consolidation so we can measure a target and we can also jump into a trade. We are not just going to blindly get into a trade. We can get later, in the later stages, into some long trades based on resistance, for example. Let's just assume here, for example, the 23.8 cents. We broke it to the upside, we retested it. I still didn't went into a long position because the chart pattern was missing. And yes, we could have said, okay, here was an inverted head and shoulders formatation, but this wasn't enough for me. All the other coins were still bearish, and if I see one bullish chart pattern for one specific coin where all the other coins are bearish in that market stage, why should I jump into a long trade? I want more signals, and the signal looks pretty good to me because we have here a bull flag, so I can take this one out of the chart. This was what we wanted to see. As long as we are consolidating within that bull flag, we can't trade it because we can anytime soon always break it to the downside and invalidate this chart pattern. So just because I see it, I don't want to jump into a long trade. Once we break the 24.26 cents to the upside, then it's going to look differently. And the difference here is that we have the measurement of this chart pattern, which is the 26.1 cents. On top of that, we have some interesting chart patterns, but I have to delete something with you. Like all those old bearish chart patterns, we have talked about it. The targets, yeah, they were ongoing in the past, but we have also said in one video that a bullish reversal might happen very soon because we have so many bullish divergences, and we actually think about a bullish reversal before we get in those price areas. So it looks scary. That's why let me delete it, because we don't need it anymore. So I can also delete this right here, this here, and those price marks. So it looks a bit better. Then we have had a falling wedge. Since we have another chart pattern which are telling us near to that target, so basically I would also delete this from the chart. The target is still ongoing, but I still want to take it out of the chart. It's useless for me if I have different kind of chart patterns, like for example this bull flag. So what is interesting here at HBAR is once we break that bull flag to the upside, then we might activate another bullish chart pattern, which is this falling wedge. What I think is more interesting, if we are actually going to break the 26.1 cents to the upside, because then this whole movement which we got, I messed it up a bit because my laptop is a bit laggy, but this here is a box, so a rectangle. If we break the 26.1 cents to the upside, then I can measure the target, 29.5 cents. That would also break another chart pattern to the upside, which can just be this huge double bottom pattern. Once we break the 27.6 cents to the upside, target the purple box 32 cents to 34 cents. Can we go higher? For sure. If we have the chart patterns, then we can measure it, then we can trade it. Otherwise, if we just are going higher and higher without getting chart patterns, then it's not tradable for me, but maybe for you. So what do I want to tell you is that we have the setup for a huge bullish movement to the upside for HBAR. We just have to break our first price mark, 24.26 cents to the upside. then I would actually take my first long trade. If we break more to the upside, then I would increase my position size for a bigger movement to the upside. If we decide to break it to the downside, then we have to look for other kind of chart patterns. It's not going to invalidate the overall bullish targets, which I have said, this purple box up here. It's not going to invalidate it just because we invalidate this small bull flag, but we have to look for other chart patterns afterwards. So what about Dogecoin? So for Dogecoin, we have set so far 21.88 cents. If they break to the upside, we can actually think about getting into the area 22.4 cents to 22.6 cents. We were very close to it. And I think as long as we hold the 21.88 cents to 88 cents, then I can still imagine getting into that fair value gap. And then we have to see if we are going to sell off or go for higher prices. That's what I've drew here. Higher prices on the one hand, lower prices on the other hand. If we decide to lose the 21.88 cents to the downside, then I think 21.4 cents is going to be the next support, where we can think about dropping there, and maybe we develop there a bullish chart pattern so we can jump into a long trade a bit earlier or increase our position size for Dogecoin. So everything still looks like on standby, means we have to watch, we have to wait a bit longer. If we decide to break to the upside, for example for HBAR, we have also targets for Ethereum. So Ethereum 4,671 US dollar. Let's look over XRP, $3.03. If we break those kind of price marks to the upside, then we can actually get happy about some gains to the upside, because the possibility of getting pushes to the upside, so some buying pressure, is actually pretty high. If we decide to consolidate longer and break to the downside, then it's not going to look good, but it's not going to be the worst case. We just have to wait a bit longer for then getting more bullish chart patterns in. But actually what I wanted to see for XRP, for example, was a bullish consolidation. I wanted to see a bullish consolidation for Ethereum. We got an inverted head and shoulders formatation. I wanted to see a bullish consolidation for HBAR. We got it. So far, 50% happened of what I wanted to see. The other 50% is actually this breakout. So with that said, we see each other in the Render, Tau, Kaspa and ONDO update.